So, the Modern Warfare 2 reveal happened. More specifically here, the Warzone and multiplayer side, and I've got to say, it looks interesting. It leaves me with some stuff to look forward to and some stuff I'm not too sure about as well. And I think, as is standard procedure with COD, we should go into this very skeptical. Despite these not being rumors, we still need to be critical, because I'm going to drop some top secret information here and say, Call of Duty lately has been cheeks.
What a waste.
But on the plus side, the last COD game from Infinity Ward was in 2019. That was Modern Warfare 2019. And that means they've had about 3 good years of development here. And Infinity Ward decided to reveal this stuff in the Call of Duty Next event that was revealing loads of stuff, kind of flexing their development muscles, saying, hey, look at all this cool stuff we have in Modern Warfare 2. Oh, look at that, that's Warzone 2. And there were a bunch of streamers at the events. There was like ring lights in a bunch of rows, and then all of their setups, it looked insane. And anyway, these guys were playing the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and then there were these devs that were speakers, and they were talking and talking and talking. It felt like it was never going to end. Now, there's nothing better than hearing passionate devs talk about their games, but the problem I felt with this, and I noticed a lot of people in the stream's chat for the next event had too, was that there was way too much talking and not enough showing. It stopped feeling like a reveal and more like a developer's commentary, and this led to me and a lot of people mentally just piecing out. My brain was like, I'm switching off, there's nothing actually being revealed, and the stuff they were talking about was interesting, but they didn't have the stuff to show it, to back it up. And so I was thinking, it's great you're telling me about this, but why are we not being shown a lot of it? And it got to points where they would mention something interesting and then not show anything, and then they would mention something else interesting and they wouldn't show it. In fact, sometimes they wouldn't even explain what they were talking about. An example being these raids. That one of the guys speaking, I forgot his name, but he mentioned that raids were going to be in the game and never explained what it was, and so it left me and a lot of others very confused. I don't know what the elusive raiding system is, but I would have liked to have known. I just don't know what it is, and it was never explained, so depending on how good that feature is, that's one less thing to look forward to when the game comes out, and I don't know why they didn't say anything. I'll admit though, there was a lot of good energy between a lot of the devs as well, so that was endearing to see, but like I said earlier, the things they were saying just didn't seem to ignite any kind of flame, any kind of spark. And parts where I did get excited, they then wouldn't elaborate on it enough, and when they did, they would explain it in a really weird way, and so it killed a lot of the hype and momentum that I feel like the talking was supposed to have. An example of that being the absurd amount of time they spent talking about water. Just water. Like, they would not stop talking about it, not even just in one segment, but constantly throughout it, they would keep mentioning water. It actually ended up sounding a lot like the Call of Duty Ghost trailer memes or whatever it was, where they kept talking about the fish AI underwater and stuff. It had that same energy, and I don't know if they were trying too hard to joke about it, but they kept mentioning this water gunfight gameplay that they were just really excited about for how water movement is and stuff. I'm glad that the devs are happy about it because it's clearly gonna be advanced in some way, but the amount of times they mentioned it was meme material.
The slide, the dive, the water, like...
more swimming.
Yeah. Oh.
Something I'm glad that they did say though was that they were focusing on fun. Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 is about fun, and I'm so glad that they've said that, and I'm so glad that that is their focus, because personally I feel like Warzone especially lost sight of that. Warzone stopped being fun when metas were getting too heavy and too spammable. You had to have every attachment down to a T, you had to have these exact optics and laser sights and grips, or else you would just get stomped on by everybody else using that meta. And so that was frustrating, and with the way that Warzone 2 is being talked about by the devs, it seems as though it's actually going to land on its feet and it's not going to be as meta heavy as Warzone 1 was. And the attachments is something that I'm looking forward to, but I'm also very concerned about too, because it's similar to Modern Warfare 2019 with the amount of weapon customizability, but attachments seem to have this progress tree, if you will, will, on how you unlock it, meaning you don't have to get every single individual attachment for every single individual gun. It seems as though it would come more in groups, which should hopefully save a lot of time making weapon classes, and also hopefully tone down the amount of attachments that are actually available, because there were just too many to keep up with in Modern Warfare 2019, and it's something that literally every Call of Duty has fell victim to ever since that change. But from the way it's looking, attachments are going to be plentiful, but it's going to be more simplistic in how you go about unlocking them, and I don't think that there's going to be as many as there was in 2019. There's new game modes in multiplayer, and some to speak of here are like this hostage one where you have to carry the hostage away from the zone, you have to exfil them, in a similar vein to the hostage game mode in Rainbow Six Siege, except take that game mode and give it a more Call of Duty coat of paint. It might be fun, it might not be, it looks interesting though, and I guess I would try that out when the game launches. There's also a game mode which should actually be quite well executed, because it seems as though Infinity Ward are giving it more polish and a bit more dev time to be able to introduce this game mode and make it stick more, and this is third person. The more gameplay I see of the third person, the more promising it looks, and it seems as though they're going to be spreading it across the rest of the game as time goes on since launch. It feels as though they're going to be waiting for a lot of the community reception about that before it ends up taking any giant leaps. And I have to say, the visuals of this game look so much better in comparison to Modern Warfare 2019. Graphics fidelity wise, it looks pretty similar. However, when you look at it from a color perspective, a palette perspective, the color, it comes out a lot more than it did in 2019. The first Modern Warfare was literally just the color grey, brown, and like a dark green, and it did not look good. The lighting may have been good, the reflections may have been good and all of that, but buildings and terrain was so lifeless. It's not too oversaturated like something like Black Ops 4, but it's also not as drab looking as Modern Warfare 2019 was, so I think we found a happy medium here. One of the most controversial things in Modern Warfare 2019 was by far the movement. The game introduced super sprint, and sliding seemed to be kinda OP because you could just spray people whilst you were sliding. However, in this, nothing too much has changed. The sliding from what I've seen actually looks very sluggish, and I'm not really looking too forward to using that. But however, dolphin diving's back, and I know we may not have the top of the Kino de Toten stairs to dive from, but I think this will be a pretty fun thing to mess around with. I can imagine dolphin diving to cover on Warzone and things is going to be really cool and useful. Same with those cheek clenching S&D matches, should be good stuff. And now to talk about Warzone 2, the map is big. They revealed how big the map is, they showed a lot of places around it, and it's got a similar thing to Verdansk in which it shows a lot of returning POIs that are kind of mashed together to make a map. Now obviously there are new ones too, but with this new map, Al Mazrah as it's called, there's going to be some returning POIs that are going to be very nostalgic for any COD veteran players, such as Dome from Modern Warfare 3, Quarry from Modern Warfare 2, and it seems like much more. And one more thing of note here is that they've changed the zones and the way they work, and I don't know how I feel about this one, although I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious to see how this would play out. The basic premise of it is you take the map, and instead of one big zone closing in, occasionally there's going to be a zone that would split into different parts, and it would group other squads in. And it seems as though this would happen at random before suddenly, once your zone is cleared and the next countdown begins and the zone starts closing, it will merge back into one. It's really interesting to see that they're trying to change things there, although how that's going to be executed and how the flow of the gameplay and the battle royale formula is going to be after that, I suppose we're going to have to see. Warzone 2 seems like it's going in a very good direction. Even the little things like the way looting is going is very promising. An example that the devs mentioned in the event was that you can go to medicine cabinets in Warzone and DMZ, and you would find a bandage to patch yourself up with it or some sort of healing item, because a medicine cabinet is where those kinds of things would be. So not only does that add another level of realism, but it seems like it's going to add this level of, okay, I'm hurt, I know where to look, instead of, oh, RNGesus, please make sure that there's some meds or armor plates dumped on the floor under a staircase. Warzone's going to be dropping on November 16th, which is shortly after the launch of the main game, and yes, it's going to be free to play. And now for the third game mode, the thing that could be keeping zombies players busy with the newest Call of Duty, and this is going to be Spec Ops. Now, Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 2019 was terrible. I don't really remember it being been fun from when I tried playing it with my friends. It just felt like a big mess. It was this big mishmash of extremely difficult but also tedious gameplay. It really wasn't fun, it wasn't balanced, so I'm not really looking forward to Spec Ops. They've not talked about it much, and they didn't talk about DMZ either, which is really annoying. That being said, DMZ, although it wasn't talked about for very long, it seemed as though the devs had a lot of faith in it, saying that the possibilities with the game mode seem endless. The leaks were in fact right about DMZ that I covered on the channel some time ago now. It is going to be like that Tarkov, sandboxy, AI and humans type of experience, and I'm looking forward to that. DMZ seems like it's going to be one of the funnest game modes in this Call of Duty. You and the squad go in, get some gear, do the task you need to do, and exfil safely when you feel like the time is right. It sounds as though it's going to be really intense and challenging in a fun way. Anyone who's played games like Hunt Showdown or Tarkov, you would know how scary those games can be. With that tactical Call of Duty formula that Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are going for now, I think it'll shape out to be quite the experience, and is probably the thing I'm looking the most forward to, that and Warzone 2 I would say. So I'm really hoping that it's going to turn out well and should keep us zombies players busy with a fun third game mode. But anyways, I'm going to leave this video here today. If you enjoyed or found this video informative, then be sure to smash the like button. Comment your thoughts on this whole event. What did you think to it? What did you like? What didn't you like? And what game mode are you looking the most forward to with the release of Modern Warfare 2? I'll probably be posting more news about this as and when it comes out, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, you won't regret it, and turn on the notification bell too to stay notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.